Today, we're diving into Dr. Joe Dispenza's work,
Okay.
specifically his book, Becoming Supernatural. You know what's really captivating about Dispenza?
What?
Is his ability to weave together these incredible personal stories.
Yeah.
You know, people healing from serious illnesses, experiencing mystical visions
Right.
with actual scientific research.
Yeah.
He pulls from neuroscience, epigenetics,
Yeah.
even quantum physics.
That's awesome.
So get ready to have your perception of reality challenged.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because we're about to explore the potential that lies within each of us.
Ready.
He jumps right in with these wild anecdotes that sound almost unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
He talks about people healing from cancer, seeing visions, even bending reality. It's like he's saying that what we experience with our five senses is just the surface.
Right.
There's a whole other level of reality we haven't tapped into yet.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's there, but we're just not tuned into it.
Yeah.
He uses this analogy of a radio.
Okay.
Think about it.
Yeah.
There are countless radio frequencies all around us, but we only tune into a tiny fraction with our radio receiver.
Yeah.
Dispenza suggests that the same is true for energy and information.
Okay.
There's a vast unseen world out there.
Right.
And that's where the supernatural really begins.
Okay, so how do we tune into these other frequencies?
Well, one of the first things Dispenza emphasizes is the importance of being present.
Okay.
He argues that we spend so much time dwelling on the past or worrying about the future
Right.
that we miss out on the creative power of the now.
So he's saying that being stuck in our heads actually drains our energy.
Yes.
And prevents us from experiencing our full potential.
Exactly. And he's not just talking about feeling better emotionally.
Right.
He connects this directly to our physical health.
Oh.
When you're stressed out, your brainwaves are all over the place.
Yeah.
Dispenza says that this chaotic brain activity can actually hinder your body's natural healing abilities. He even suggests that chronic stress can switch off the expression of healthy genes.
So simply being more present could actually impact our health at a cellular level.
That's exactly what he's saying.
That's incredible. But how do we actually achieve that state of presence? Is he talking about meditation?
Meditation is definitely a big part of it, but he also introduces this concept of heart coherence.
Okay.
Basically, it's about getting your heart beating in a rhythmic, balanced way. He says it's not just about feeling good.
Okay.
It actually impacts your gene expression and even influences matter.
Cool. And our heart rhythm can influence matter. How is that even possible?
Dispenza cites some pretty fascinating studies that show a direct link between heart and brain coherence.
Okay.
And changes in our physical reality.
Well,
When our heart and brain are in sync, we become less separate from our intentions, more open to possibilities.
okay.
He even suggests that heart-centered emotions like love and gratitude can influence specific genes, which could lead to actual changes in the body.
So what's the takeaway here? Is he suggesting that just by cultivating feelings of gratitude or love,
Yeah,
we can actually change our biology?
that's exactly what he's proposing.
That's why.
Imagine that intentionally shifting your heart rhythm to create positive change in your body.
Wow.
It really emphasizes the power of our emotions.
Okay, my mind is officially blown.
I know, right?
But if we're talking about influencing matter
Yeah.
with our thoughts and emotions, are we getting into the realm of quantum physics here?
We are. This is where Dispenza's work gets really intriguing.
Okay.
He dives deep into the quantum field. This invisible realm where all possibilities exist as pure energy and information. And here's the kicker. He claims we can actually tap into this field and influence the material world with our consciousness.
Okay, now you're really making me think.
It's a lot to take in.
Is this where he brings up the double slit experiment?
Yes.
The one where light acts like both a wave and a particle, depending on whether it's being observed?
Exactly, because that's one of the cornerstones of quantum physics, and Dispenza uses it to illustrate the power of observation.
Yeah.
He suggests that we are the observers,
Okay.
and our consciousness has the power to collapse these possibilities into reality. Like we're constantly choosing which version of reality we experience, simply by directing our attention and intention.
That's a lot to wrap my head around.
It is mind-blowing for sure.
So if our consciousness is so powerful, how do we learn to direct it more effectively?
It's a great question, and that's where Dispenza introduces the idea of these 7 energy centers in the body. They function a bit like chakras, each with its own unique frequency and purpose.
And I remember he describes a specific meditation technique for activating these energy centers.
Yeah, you got it. It's called the blessing of the energy centers.
Okay.
And what's really interesting is that Dispenza doesn't just talk about these centers in a mystical, esoteric way.
Right.
He links each center to specific glands, hormones, and even brainwave patterns.
Wow.
It's like he's saying these energy centers aren't just some spiritual concept. They're directly connected to our biology.
So by raising the frequency in these centers, we can actually influence our physical body.
You got it.
It's starting to sound less like mystical mumbo-jumbo and more like we're being given a user manual for our own biology.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that makes Dispenza's work so fascinating.
Yeah.
He bridges the gap between ancient wisdom and modern science in a way that's both intriguing and empowering.
Okay, this is all incredibly fascinating.
Yeah.
But I need to know more. How do we actually activate these energy centers and shift our energy? What are the practical steps involved?
Well, Dispenza describes a specific breathing technique. He describes it as pulling energy up the spine and releasing it from the head.
That sounds intense. What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, he claims that this technique helps break free from old emotional patterns.
Okay.
And it literally reconditions the body to a new mind. Like you're hitting the reset button on your nervous system.
So we're essentially hacking our own biology through conscious breathing.
You got it. Dispenza explains how conscious breathing can actually shift your autonomic nervous system, which is the part that controls things like digestion, hormone release, even immune function, moving from a state of stress to a state of relaxation and healing almost on demand.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're calming the system down.
Right.
Creating space for healing and change.
Exactly.
So we're raising our energy, shifting our brain waves.
Yeah.
But how do we actually start creating this specific reality we want? How do we manifest our desires?
That's where Dispenza gets into the power of visualization.
Okay.
He talks about creating these mind movies.
Okay.
Vivid visualizations of your ideal future.
So it's like creating a movie in your mind of everything you want to experience.
Exactly. But he takes it a step further.
Oh, really?
He actually suggests watching these mind movies while looking through a kaleidoscope.
A kaleidoscope. Now, that's something I haven't heard before. What's the purpose of that?
He claims that the constantly shifting patterns of the kaleidoscope help to kind of bypass the analytical mind and program the subconscious more effectively.
Oh, wow.
It's like a shortcut to rewiring your deepest beliefs and expectations.
So we're essentially tricking our brains into believing that our desired future is already happening.
It's more than just tricking your brain. Dispenza explains how the brain doesn't actually distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. So by emotionally embodying your future self in your mind movie, you're laying down new neural pathways that can pave the way for that future to actually manifest.
It's like we're rehearsing for a new reality. So we're shifting our energy, rewiring our brains with these mind movies. But is there anything else we need to do to bridge the gap between our inner world and our outer experience?
Great question. That's where Dispenza brings in this concept of a walking meditation.
A walking meditation, what's that all about?
So it's about maintaining a meditative state with your eyes open while embodying the energy and mindset of your future self.
Wait, so we're walking around in a meditative state pretending to be our future selves? I'm not sure I'm following.
It's not about pretending. Think of it more as like stepping into the energy of your future self.
Okay.
You know, you're feeling the emotions, embodying the qualities, and like moving through the world as if that future has already arrived.
So by practicing this walking meditation, we're not just thinking about being a healthier, happier version of ourselves.
Right.
We're training our bodies and minds to actually become that person.
Precisely. It's about aligning your actions with your intentions.
Okay.
And creating new habits of thought, feeling, and behavior that match your desired reality.
This is getting really deep.
It is.
Okay. So far we've covered being present, heart coherence, breathing techniques, visualization, and walking meditation.
Yeah, we're hitting all the major points.
Anything else we should know about before we move on?
Well, Dispenza places a lot of emphasis on the pineal gland. He even calls it the seat of the soul.
The pineal gland. I know it's this tiny gland in the brain.
Right.
But what makes it so special?
Well, Dispenza claims that activating the pineal gland through specific meditation techniques can unlock, like, heightened awareness, intuition, and even mystical experiences.
Mystical experiences. Okay, now we're really getting into the supernatural.
Yeah.
But how do we actually activate the pineal gland?
So he draws on these ancient traditions that viewed the pineal gland as this connection to higher realms.
Right.
He links it to the production of DMT,
DMT.
which is a naturally occurring psychedelic compound.
Wait, DMT?
Like
the psychedelic drug?
Yes, but it's also produced naturally in the brain.
Okay.
Especially during deep sleep and near-death experiences. Dispenza suggests that by activating the pineal gland through meditation, we can create altered states of consciousness similar to those experienced during deep meditation or even psychedelic journeys.
So we're talking about accessing other dimensions of reality.
We're getting into some pretty mind-blowing territory here.
This is pretty mind-blowing stuff.
It is fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dispenza presents the pineal gland as this gateway to the mystical, a bridge between the material world and the immaterial.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. But before we go full-on woo-woo, let's bring this back down to earth a bit.
Sure.
Dispenza shares a ton of case studies throughout the book, right?
He does.
Real people who have experienced incredible transformations using his methods.
Real people, real stories, and they're powerful because they provide real-world evidence for the concepts that he's presenting.
That's what I love about his work. He backs up these mind-bending ideas with actual examples of people who have transformed their lives.
Exactly.
So tell me, what are some of the most compelling cases that he highlights?
Well, there's the story of Anna, who healed herself from cancer.
Wait, she healed herself from cancer. Tell me more about that.
So Anna was diagnosed with esophageal cancer.
Okay.
It was a very serious diagnosis. And to make matters worse, she was also dealing with the emotional trauma of her husband's recent suicide.
Oh, wow.
She was in a very dark place.
So how did she turn things around?
A friend introduced her to Dispenza's work.
Okay.
And she started attending his workshops and practicing his meditations religiously.
Was it an easy process for her?
Not at all. She had to overcome a lot of fear, doubt, and physical pain.
Yeah.
But she was determined to heal herself.
And she actually did it.
She did. After about 1.5 years of consistent practice, her cancer completely vanished.
Wow.
And that's not all. Her paralysis healed, the ulcerations in her mucous membranes disappeared.
Wow.
And she was able to wean herself off antidepressants.
That's a complete transformation.
It is.
It wasn't just about physical healing.
Right.
It was about a complete mental and emotional shift as well.
Exactly. That's what's so powerful about Dispenza's work. It's not just about treating symptoms. It's about addressing the root cause of illness.
Yeah.
Which often lies in our thoughts, emotions, and energy.
Her story is so inspiring. It gives me chills just thinking about it. Are there any other stories that stand out to you?
Well, there's the story of Ginny.
Jenny, what happened with her?
So Ginny had been suffering from excruciating back pain for years.
Chronic pain can be so debilitating. It can really take over your life.
It was really affecting her quality of life. She had tried everything, physical therapy, medications, chiropractic care.
Yeah.
But nothing seemed to help.
So how did she find relief?
She attended one of Dispenza's advanced workshops.
Okay.
And during a meditation, she experienced this profound shift in her awareness.
What kind of shift?
She described it as this surge of energy moving through her body,
Okay.
followed by this sense of complete peace and connection to something much larger than herself.
And her pain just vanished.
It did, and it never returned. She was able to walk, stand, and move freely for the first time in years.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like she tapped into some kind of healing energy within herself.
That's exactly what Dispenza teaches. He believes that we all have this innate capacity to heal ourselves, but we need to learn how to access that power.
These stories are so inspiring. It's almost like they're proving that miracles are possible.
I think that's a beautiful way to put it. Dispenza's work is a testament to the extraordinary potential that lies within each of us.
It's hard to believe that simply changing our thoughts and energy can have such a profound impact on our lives.
I know. But that's the power of the mind-body connection.
Yeah. And we haven't even touched on all the incredible stories he shares in the book.
Oh, there are more. We've only just scratched the surface of what Dispenza explores in Becoming Supernatural.
Yeah.
There's Daniel, for example, who overcame severe electromagnetic hypersensitivity.
It's electromagnetic what is it?
Or EHS.
EHS, I'm not familiar with that. What is it exactly?
It's a condition where people experience debilitating symptoms when exposed to electromagnetic fields.
Oh, wow.
Things like Wi-Fi, cell phones, even microwaves can trigger a reaction.
Wow. So even everyday technology could be a problem for these people.
Exactly. For Daniel, it meant constant headaches, fatigue, and chronic pain. He was forced to close his business and isolate himself from the world.
It sounds awful.
It was a really difficult time for him.
So how did Dispenza's work help him?
He started practicing the meditations diligently, particularly the blessing of the energy centers.
Okay.
And he described experiencing incredible energy shifts in his body, almost like certain areas of his brain were lighting up.
Really?
Yeah,
And that helped with his EHS symptoms?
it did. Gradually, his pain-free periods started getting longer until eventually he was able to function normally in environments that used to trigger his symptoms.
So he essentially retrained his body to respond differently to those electromagnetic fields.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It really is a testament to the power of the mind-body connection. Dispenza believes that when we change our internal state, we can change our external reality.
Okay, I'm starting to see a pattern here. But are there any examples of people actually manifesting things into their lives, like wealth or opportunities? Not just healing, but actually creating a new reality.
Absolutely. Dispenza talks about this couple, Glenn and Natalie,
Okay.
who used the mind movie technique to manifest a successful business.
A mind movie. Remind me, what is that again?
So they created this vivid video montage of their dream business,
Okay.
including the customers they wanted to attract, the income they desired, even the vacations they would take.
Oh.
They watched it religiously, even when faced with major setbacks.
And it actually worked.
It did. They launched their business during the 2008 financial crisis, when everything was against them.
Oh, wow.
But they ended up exceeding their goals and creating this thriving company.
Hold on. They launched during the financial crisis and still succeeded? That's remarkable.
It is. It really highlights the power of belief and visualization. Dispenza emphasizes the importance of feeling the emotions of your desired reality as if it's already happening,
Right.
even if your current circumstances contradict it.
This is all starting to sound like a recipe for creating miracles.
It is powerful stuff.
But it sounds like it's not just about healing or manifesting material things. Dispenza also talks about people experiencing profound spiritual awakenings through these techniques.
Absolutely. He shares several stories of people tapping into higher levels of consciousness and experiencing the interconnectedness of all things.
What are some examples of these mystical experiences?
Well, there's the story of Donna, who found herself surrounded by interdimensional beings during a meditation.
Interdimensional beings,
Yeah.
like from other dimensions.
That's how she described it. She felt that these beings needed her help to cross over to another realm.
Wait, so she was acting as a guide for souls transitioning to the afterlife.
That's how it appeared. She even described seeing these souls running across a field filled with this red mist, experiencing this sense of joy and liberation.
That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. Are there any other examples of people connecting to something beyond the physical realm?
Oh, there are quite a few. For instance, there's the story of Sasha,
Okay.
who during a group meditation felt her heart center blossoming with leaves and branches, as if she were becoming one with the earth.
So she was experiencing a merging of her consciousness with nature.
Exactly. And right after the meditation, her best friend, who was in Ireland at the time, sent her a picture of moss growing on a rock in the shape of a heart.
Wow. It's like they were connected energetically
Wow.
despite being thousands of miles apart.
That's the power of collective consciousness. When people come together with this shared intention, they can create this powerful energetic field that can influence events beyond their immediate surroundings.
This is all so mind-blowing. But it does make you wonder if all this is possible. Why aren't more people experiencing these kinds of transformations?
That's a great question. Dispenza talks about how most people are trapped in their habits.
Yeah.
Their routines, their limiting beliefs, their emotional baggage. They're so used to operating on autopilot that they don't even realize the potential that lies dormant within them.
So it's about breaking free from those limitations and stepping into a new way of being.
Exactly. Dispenza's work is a call to action. It's about becoming conscious creators of our reality rather than passive observers.
It's definitely a lot to wrap your head around,
It is.
but it's also incredibly empowering to think that we have the ability to heal ourselves,
Yeah.
manifest our dreams, and even connect to higher realms of consciousness. It's almost too much to comprehend.
It is a lot to take in, but the more we explore these ideas, the more we realize that what we perceive as supernatural might actually be the natural unfolding of our true potential.
Okay, so if we're going to start tapping into this potential, where do we even begin? What are some practical steps we can take to start becoming more supernatural?
Well, Dispenza outlines a pretty detailed roadmap in his book.
Okay.
But one of the most important things is to start cultivating our regular meditation practice.
Meditation. It seems like that's at the core of everything he talks about.
It is. Meditation helps us to kind of quiet the mind, shift our brain waves, and become more present in the moment.
Okay.
It's the foundation for everything else.
Okay, so meditation is key.
Yeah.
But what about those specific techniques that he describes, like the breathing exercises and the mind movies?
Those are all tools that can help us deepen our practice and access different states of consciousness.
Right.
But the most important thing is to start with a solid foundation in meditation.
That makes sense. So
Yeah.
meditation is like the gateway to all the other supernatural stuff.
You could say that. It's the foundation upon which we can build a more expansive and empowered reality.
How do we really embody that future self?
Dispenza talks about the importance of feeling the emotions as if you're already living that reality.
Oh,
It's about shifting your internal state to match your desired outcome.
so it's not just about changing our thoughts.
Right.
It's about changing how we feel.
Exactly. It's about creating a full-body experience that aligns with your vision.
This is all incredibly inspiring, but it also seems like it takes a lot of effort and dedication.
It does. But the rewards are well worth it. As Dispenza says, the greatest habit we can ever develop is the habit of being ourselves, and yet the greatest challenge we face is to let go of who we think we are.
So it's about shedding our old selves and embracing our true potential. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's about stepping into the unknown and becoming the architects of our own destiny.
Before we wrap things up, I'm curious to hear your personal takeaways from Dispenza's work. What resonated most with you?
For me, it's the realization that we are not limited by our physical bodies or our current circumstances.
So we're not just victims of our genes or our environment.
Not at all. We have the power to change our biology, rewire our brains, and create a reality that aligns with our deepest desires.
It's almost like we're rediscovering our own divinity.
I think that's a beautiful way to put it. Dispenza's work is a reminder that we are all connected to this greater intelligence, this source of infinite potential.
So the supernatural is really just the natural waiting to be unlocked.
Exactly. It's about realizing that we are not separate from the universe, but rather an integral part of it.
This has been a truly transformative conversation. I feel like I've been given a glimpse into a whole new world of possibilities.
It's been my pleasure to share this journey with you.
What's one thought you want to leave our listeners with?
If you're ready to embark on your own journey of becoming supernatural, start by asking yourself this question. What if everything you've been told about reality is wrong?
What if everything you've been told about reality is wrong?
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty profound question to ponder, isn't it?
It is, but it's, I think, the perfect place to start
Yeah.
if we're, serious about exploring Dispenza's work.
Yeah.
He's asking us to question our deepest assumptions about what's possible.
It's like he's saying, hey, what if the limitations you've placed on yourself are just that? Limitations you've created.
Right.
What if you could break free from those limitations and tap into this power that you never knew you had?
He's suggesting that we've been conditioned to believe in this limited version of reality.
Right.
But what if that's just a tiny fraction of what's truly available to us?
Yeah, it's a pretty radical idea, but honestly, it's also incredibly exciting.
Oh, for sure.
If we really can change our reality by shifting our thoughts, emotions, and energy,
Yeah.
well, the possibilities are truly limitless.
The sky's the limit.
Right.
That's what makes Dispenza's work so compelling.
Yeah.
He's not just presenting, a bunch of theories.
Right.
He's offering a path to personal transformation,
Yeah.
a way to create a life that's aligned with our deepest desires.
He's giving people hope.
Yeah.
And not just a vague sense of hope,
Yeah.
but like a tangible roadmap to create real change in their lives.
I think that's what's so inspiring about his work.
Yeah.
He doesn't shy away from the science, but he also acknowledges the power of our consciousness.
Right.
Our beliefs, our emotions.
Okay.
He's bridging the gap between the scientific and the spiritual in a way that's both grounded and empowering.
It's like he's saying, hey, you have more control of your life than you realize.
Exactly.
You have the power to create miracles.
I think that's a message that resonates really deeply with so many people.
Totally.
We all yearn for that sense of agency, that belief that we can shape our own destiny.
Well, this has been an incredible journey through the world of becoming supernatural.
It has.
I feel like we've barely scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But even so, I've learned so much, and I'm definitely feeling inspired to explore these ideas further.
I hope so.
I think a lot of people listening probably are too.
Definitely.
So to our listeners, if you're intrigued by what you've heard today, we urge you to dive deeper into this fascinating world.
Yeah.
Explore Dispenza's work.
Mm-hmm.
Experiment with the techniques, and who knows, you might just surprise yourself with what you discover.
It's a journey worth taking. Thanks for listening, everybody.